can tell you what Josh said about Laura is absolutely true. Out there, I was being interviewed and somebody said, well, you know, are you anxious to do this? And I said, I can't wait. And I said, by the way, they haven't seen what's standing in front of me in action yet. That little 93-pound cowgirl knows how to take advantage. But before I get started on some comments that I think are very important, let me acknowledge the service of somebody else in here. Somebody who has recently announced that they're not going to run for re-election again, and of course you know I'm talking about Josh Pittman. Not getting the microphone there. By the way, you shake my hand, I don't have a cold. I just gave a speech yesterday without doing the proper breathing, you know, through your stomach or whatever, so I lost my voice, which they told me I do. I didn't listen to them when that happened. But back to Josh. Josh made that announcement, and Josh's statement up here about where we would be today had he not stood up and took one for the team is exactly correct. I was at the National Western Stock Show yesterday, and some reporter came up to me and said, well, geez, looks to me like you got some tough players that want to line up against you. And I just smiled, Bonnie, and I said to him, oh, no, no, no. The tough player is on our team now. Those guys are nothing compared to a Josh Pittman, I can assure you. So let's just acknowledge Josh. Josh, thank you for your service. That gives you the strength and the momentum, I think, is to stand amongst the people that I stand amongst here and receive their endorsement. You know, getting an endorsement from them is huge, but it's a lot more than about me. It's not about me. It's about, as some of the previous speakers have said, the future. I don't know if you've seen the movie Seabiscuit, but remember where the guy stands up there and he says, it's about the future. And that's what it is about, and that's why it's bigger than me. And these endorsements that I've received today are nothing more really than kind of a temporary trust, a temporary faith, saying, look, we've got to have someone who, one, understands the heavy responsibility that comes with our trust in giving you this endorsement. Because they, in turn, answer to you. And they all know that you have trusted them. You have given them that temporary mantle to be responsive to the people to which they serve. So in turn, when they get the endorsement, they feel that same kind of sense of accountability for responsibility. And that's why I'm privileged to be up here today and accept those endorsements and accept the responsibilities that come with them. I can tell you when Josh made the decision to stand up for the team, it wasn't just, Scott, I want to support you. Well, Scott, I want to support you, but I want to be a part of the team, an active part of the team. And we start this today. And we started talking about how's the best way to deliver a message that represents what Pete and Janet and what Craig and what Steve and what Laura and the mayor and people like that really believe in. How can we deliver that message? And it was from there, word by word, we developed what we thought was the principle of governance that will take this state and put it back on track. And that was our platform for prosperity. It highlights very clearly, and Don, you and I had some discussions in the development of that, by the way, thank you for coming up. But it was from that we thought, look, we do have a great future in Colorado. We've got a lot to look forward to, but we've got to have the management in place that knows how to get us there. And that's not what we have today. No matter what face they put up against us, I've been asked 1,000 times in the last 2 days, oh my gosh, is this person or that person? So, you know, you put any face you want in there. As Josh pointed out earlier, their message stays the same, and our message stays the same. And our message differs from their message. Our message on our platform for prosperity talks about smaller government. fact that bigger government doesn't create bigger ideas. It talks about states holding on to their rights, not accepting the federal mandates that are coming down from the federal government. It talks about the rights of the Second Amendment. If you watch here, any of these people they mentioned, let's ask them where they are on your rights in regards to the Second Amendment, or how they interpret the 10th Amendment. Our message out there is a message of economic prosperity through the most important thing any of us could talk about today. That's a job. You know, about 3 or 4 hours ago, hundreds of people in this state, happened yesterday, it's going to happen tomorrow, statistically, happened this morning, hundreds of people in this state have lost their jobs today. They went into work, and the boss says, "Can you come in the room? I want to talk to you." Gary, you can empathize with these feelings, Colleen. The boss says you don't have a job. Laura and I were talking, she actually brought this analogy up. She said, you know, when we were young, you built a quarter-mile fence. You know, at the end of the quarter mile, you know when the job's over. It's pretty obvious at the end of the quarter mile, but there's always another quarter-mile fence to build. But under this leadership from the government, there's not a quarter-mile more fence to build. As Josh has pointed out, look what's happened to those wonderful jobs we have with the natural gas industry. You know the ones that had 100% medical insurance? The ones that went down to the dealership and bought the big pickups? The ones that were our neighbors, ate in our restaurants? Many of us involved in there. That's the difference between these messages. That's why they're so angry about this platform for prosperity. Because they don't view it as a threat. They view it as a missed opportunity. And a missed opportunity that was obvious to the people that they were supposed to serve, which they have not. So the responsibilities that we take, and the reason I brought this is I want to have, we'll put a new face in there. We've got Ritter's name in there. It's easily replaced, but the message stays the same.